When people suggest things will never be the same again, they mean something deeper. It is not just about our health habits, it goes much deeper. The way we live, our lifestyle, the way we look at education, the importance that we attach to certain things in our lives. Students, parents, teachers, schools, everybody is going to be having a completely different outlook towards life as such. When we talk about education, John Hattie in his research Visible Learning has identified 6 factors that contribute to a student learning. Now, how these 6 factors are going to undergo changes post the COVID-19 situation? Let us discuss that in this video. Coming up. What is going on? My name is Ramesh. Welcome to another video on Mudgal's Musings, a channel dedicated to increasing your productivity. If this happens to be your first time here, consider subscribing because I keep posting one interesting video every single week to help you increase your productivity. And don't forget to hit that bell button so that you don't miss out anything exciting on this channel and you get notified every time I upload a new video. The first area which impacts or which contributes to student learning are the students themselves. Obviously, the COVID-19 situation and the changes that it has brought about, the disruptions that it has brought about has affected the students as well. The most important positive impact of this situation is that the students have become more self-reliant. Their ability to make use of technology for self-learning, for understanding the concept, for solving the problems, for submitting their assignments, for research, it has definitely improved. And in the process, the students have also become excellent users of technology, not just for games, which used to be the majority of their usage prior, but now from the learning point of view, especially to add to their knowledge, add to their skills, they have become very good and very confident. That's one very positive impact. Well, there are also some other impacts with respect to the students, and that one is that the students are going to definitely demand and expect that there should be flexibility in the way they are going to learn, where they would obviously want some combination of face-to-face learning as well as some amount of digital content, online learning, and anytime, anywhere learning happening. These are the changes that have been gradually happening all the while. But perhaps the COVID-19 situation has become a catalyst which is only hastened this process of change. And most likely when the schools open up, they are not going to be the same. The education is not going to be the same. When the students return to the schools after the lockdown and when the governments open up and when the schools open up, obviously there are going to be a couple of concern areas as far as students are concerned. Number one would be that research has established in previous studies that whenever there is a constant, there is a contact time between the students and the teachers, that has a positive impact on the outcomes of the students, on the achievements of the students. Research has been conducted already. The longer the contact time between the teachers and the school, and the students, better the achievement. That is what has proved in a couple of studies. Well, unfortunately, the loss of these 3-4 months where the students have stayed home, there is a possibility some students would return to schools with gaps in their learning. Perhaps their knowledge and understanding and skills in the subjects has been impacted negatively. That is a concern area. The social, emotional, and physical condition of the students. Having been at home, not having been allowed to move out, not having been allowed to interact with their friends, interact with their peers, the social contacts of the students has been affected. Obviously, there would be some amount of emotional support which the students require. There would be a requirement for counseling for these students so that they come to terms with the changed circumstances and they get back to normal selves. The second area that contributes to student learning is the parents or the home. So obviously when we talk about home, it is the parents who have the majority or the largest impact on the student learning. Supporting the students at home has always been there. It's nothing new. There are home tasks, there is home learning happening, there has been homework in some cases as we call it. But all this homework, the home learning, the home task, everything has always been treated and has always been an extension of what a student has learned at a brick and mortar school, a brick and mortar education institution. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic has actually made the parents more involved and more engaged in the student learning. They perhaps, some of the parents who hadn't spent much of a time with their child with respect to what he or she was learning, they were forced to take interest, sit next to their child, figure out what the child was learning, what the child was finding difficult, what the child was enjoying. They became part of a student's learning. I think that is one very significant, a development that is the result of the current disruption that we have all seen. Now, this also has brought about several, concerns and the questions. Number one question is that parents, though they have been able to support their children to the extent possible, there has been a disparity in certain families. Those families, some of the students were fortunate, they have been fortunate, their parents have been able to support them. But at the same time, there may be some families whose parents are probably not educated enough. They do not have the kind of subject mastery that is required to help the student, or they have been heavily dependent on the school for the education of their child. So in such families, the children, obviously, those children are impacted adversely. That is one consideration. Second consideration is the parent themselves have been having a lot of tough times with respect to their own jobs. They have been working from home, and in some cases they have perhaps have been even impacted financially. There have perhaps have been unpaid leaves, or they have been laid off. So all these factors also have probably added to the woes of the parents while adding to their inability to support their students' learning. Although studies show there is going to be a marginal increase in the homeschooling, it's hardly expected to have any impact on the brick and mortar education system. So most likely, majority of the families would still decide to send their children back to schools after the schools open up and after the governments allow the schools to operate and receive the students. School is a third area of contributor to student learning. In fact, it is one of the major area of contributor to student learning and student achievement. Obviously, the current situation, when it returns to normalcy, the schools would not be the same again. I've already created a video you might want to check out on this video, and in which I've spoken about would the schools ever be the same again. The answer in that video, and I truly believe that they wouldn't be the same again, because there is going to be a paradigm shift in the way teaching learning happens, in the way the schools operate. Several scenarios have been discussed and they are being thought of by the governments, by the schools. So school, as we understand, they may not be functioning in the same way, like the same old ways. There are going to be significant changes in the way the schools are going to be delivering education to students, which will definitely ensure that there is an extensive and there is an increased use of technology. There is a mix of variety of options which the schools would be offering to students and parents for the education, for continuation of education. So this also is going to undergo significant changes in the post-COVID-19 era. That's all on Mudgal's Musings this week. Thanks for watching this video. Like it if you like it, and do share the video among your friends and acquaintances, just in case they might also be interested in watching videos like this. Question of the day: what do you think are going to be the significant changes in education after the COVID-19 situation? Do mention them in the comment section below. Till I see you next time, have a wonderful time ahead. Do take care of yourselves, your family. Stay healthy, stay at home. Bye-bye.